know that you've said throughout, the last couple of weeks that it's just small things, small little adjustments. Can you just walk through maybe what's one thing in particular for each of your guys that has been sort of a focal point those last couple of weeks that they've had to work on in their own individual games for this weekend?
Well, for instance, Noah, just getting to his attacks more often, I think is a big thing for him. Finishing them as well, and staying in his stance is always a good thing for him. When he's, in his stance and can sprawl back on kids, he's awfully hard to take down. But, for him, little things, just getting to more attacks. Peyton Hall, little less movement, circling more in and out movement. I think for him and just warming up properly and being in the right frame of mind for him is a big thing. With Killian, again, his level being down, like he was giving up his legs a little bit at the Big 12s. He didn't do his attack. He's got a really, really nice, as fast a shot as I've seen, and just getting to that attack over and over. Ryan, the focus this past week was getting him healthy. So, but yeah, with him, it's all the same really for a lot of these guys. It's just trying to get to their offense and get to it more often. And I guess that's it. So it's just really little things and just keeping them in the right frame of mind and getting them healthy.
That kind of led a little bit into my next question. Obviously, I have to ask, how is Ryan's hamstring and overall health heading into the event?
He looks good today. And he goes, I feel really good. And so, I'm going to take him at his word. So he said he feels good. The first day or two after, he was kind of sore, but he looks good. He's in there wrestling live right now. So, fingers are crossed. I think he's fine.
And I don't think we had the chance to talk since the brackets were released, but just what were your overall thoughts on not just, the brackets in general, but in particular your guys' seeds and some of the, I guess, projected matchups? Obviously, you're focusing on round one first and foremost right now, but what were your thoughts just on how your guys ended up seeded?
I don't know. I never put too much thought into that. I'm not we should have been here or there guy. You have to win 5 matches to be national champion guy. So I didn't really look into it too much. I looked at our opponents. They're all pretty solid kids. I know Noah beat his kid before. We've seen Killian's guy. I actually coached his brother, Sean Russell at Edinburgh. So I know Cody Russell. And Matt Schmidt had wrestled him when Matt was with WVU. So we know him a little bit. I don't know a ton about Peyton's kid, and Ryan's kid we recruited. So we know Zach Redding pretty well. But when you're not the top seed, you're gonna get tough kids, and it's a I don't know. I always say it's not a sport for the weak. So
So what's going to be key, going out there and making sure you get off to a fast start? I mean, I know that there's been, some weeks off from live competition against someone not in a WVU singlet. And obviously, if anyone drops that first match, you have a heck of a wrestle back. So what's going to be key going out there and coming out strong right out the gate in match one for all your guys?
Well, always preparation is the key, and I think they're as fresh as we can get them. And, if they get on their weight well, I think those are two things, being physically ready, but mentally ready too, and hungry. Like, I guess it's like, you ever seen these hot dog eating contests?
Yeah.
You sit down. Well, if you sit down and you don't start eating hot dogs right away, you're not going to win. So it's the same thing. If that whistle blows, if you're not out there scoring points, it's probably not going to go well. So we have to make sure we're out there getting after it, and so the mental side of being ready is equally as important.
Is there ever, a sense of just there's some excitement in that, this is the chance for the first time all season to really wrestle some guys and get some experience with some people outside of the Big 12 for a lot of your wrestlers to really just kind of see where they stack up on a national level this time instead of that, conference only level?
Yeah, I think, the NCAA tournament is, that's what it is for sure. It's, you measure yourself against the best in the country, and see where you're at. I know the kids are excited to be here. It's a beautiful arena if you've ever been to the one in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. So it's it's all set up. The guys are excited. So yeah, we're excited to see where they fit in, in that national ranking.
Have there been any differences? I know we've dealt with the COVID situation and some of the protocols and all of that all season, but are there any differences here from what you've experienced throughout, the regular season or early postseason with what you're seeing at the national tournament these last couple of days?
You mean the COVID stuff?
Is there anything different with like just your testing that you have to do or any other protocols, or is it pretty much what you've seen?
I mean, it's similar. We're used to being tested, but yeah, they're certainly testing us. We tested as soon as we arrived yesterday afternoon. We tested this morning, and we'll test every day out here. So, it adds a little bit because, with wrestling, you got to make weight in the morning. So tomorrow morning, I think our upper weights got to weigh in, grab a quick drink, go get tested. The lightweights, I think, are going to weigh in, wrestle, then get tested. It just adds a whole nother element, and you got to make sure the kids know when they got to be there. We don't want to get, anybody disqualified for not showing up for a COVID test. So, but yeah, it adds a little bit to it. I think it adds a little more stress to the kids.
Is there anything, and I know we went through earlier some of the adjustments that each guy is making and what they're working on individually. Did you ever have any point at your practices the last couple of weeks where you maybe had them incorporate a new little wrinkle or just something different for those instances where, in Noah's case, if he matches up with Buchanan in that second round, as it kind of looks like, that'll be, the fourth time this season they've wrestled, the sixth of their career. Are there any instances where you've done something where you just try to incorporate or help them get a new little wrinkle that maybe their opponent hasn't seen on their film thus far?
Yeah, I think it's like those little adjustments, like for specific people, and if that guy grabs Noah's head all the time with his one arm, we'll work a little bit, have Noah work a little bit with clearing that arm, keeping that guy off his head. Hasn't ridden him a long time, so trying to keep weight on them and driving forward. So there's little things within, like if you're going to wrestle the same guy again, so certainly, that's an example of a couple things, but that kid's on his head, just taking his, clearing the arms to try to get to your leg attacks and not letting that guy dictate the pace.
Right. I think sort of just my last question for you before we wrap this up. I got to ask, so what are your expectations out there for just WVU as a grouping and just individually? What are your expectations for your guys?
I expect them to compete hard. That's the first and foremost, and and represent our school and themselves, in a great fashion. But I want them to reach their goals, and I expect them to. I want these kids to compete hard. I just know how razor thin it is between one guy and another. And, if we're on and we're competing hard, we'll do well.